one picked up first, that's going to grab the call. Or think about this. You're on your office line. You're talking to a particular, let's say a home seller, and you've got to get to another appointment. But you don't want to say, well, let me hang up and I'll call you back on my mobile phone. With Google Voice, if you have your mobile phone registered with your office line as well, you can actually hang up your office line, pick up your mobile phone, and you can carry on the conversation. You didn't do anything there. It's a pretty neat technology. So I'd encourage you to look at that because it's really important that you have somebody answer that phone. So if you're busy, hey, forward that to a coworker, forward that to a friend to say, hey, if this thing rings, this is my hotline. I only use this in all my marketing. You need to make sure that you don't miss out on any of those calls that may come through. So there's one of the first free tools, Google Voice, or the second. The first one was goo.gl, which is a free QR code generator out on Google as well. Hopefully those free tools will help you in coming up with some ideas on how you can market yourself better as we move forward here. All right, now what I want to do is we talked a little bit about mobile, and we talked about the fact that as consumers are searching for real estate, you need to be able to be there so they can connect with you. But one of the first questions I get sometimes is, well, why is it Realtor.com? Because I don't really search on Realtor.com, so I don't know if consumers are there. Sometimes we don't know whether consumers are actually going to search for homes for sale, or they're going to search for Dallas, Texas properties. So if you ever want to know that, let me give you another tool. This tool is called Keywords. So you just type in keywords out on Google and hit search, and the very first thing that comes up will be the keyword tool from Google. Now what this is the ability for you to kind of look in the back door of Google and see what people search for. And you might say, well, why would Google give me this valuable information? It's because they're trying to sell you something, right? They're trying to sell you something called AdWords. So what you can do is you go into here and you say, I wonder how many people type in Texas homes for sale. I wonder if that's what people search for. Well, then you have to put this little word in here because they want to make sure that it's just not some computer trying to steal all their data all day long. So you got to type in this word, and then you hit search, and it will tell you how many people every month type in Texas homes for sale into Google. It's also going to give you a couple of other ideas on what other people are typing in that are similar to that. So if we look at the results here, we've got 110,000 people a month typing in Texas homes for sale. Well, that's quite a few people. If you could come up number one when someone types in Texas homes for sale, that would be a great thing, right? And then you've got Austin, Texas, and then you've got homes for sale in Texas with identical numbers, and then you've got all these other different towns that come up. And this is where I like to show agents that if you really want to know the top search strings and who gets that traffic, this is the place to come. And if you really want to get into a niche, you might even say something like, oh, let's say you worked horse properties in Texas. Now, arguably, that's not going to be a huge number, but is that a specialty niche? Is there some people that might search for that? Well, let's see what people type in. It might only be 8 people a month. It might be 0 people. Wow, it's 480 people every month type in the word horse properties in Texas. So if you were a specialist in horse properties, that might be one that you could target, because you could say, hey, it's only 480, but if you look at this little line right here, this is what the competition is like. Look at down here. See Lakefront Property, Texas? See how this line is further filled up in the green? That means more people are trying to get those keywords, and they're even paying for those. Those are called AdWords. Those are those first 3 things that pop up at the top of a Google search. So I wanted to show you this just so that I could come back full circle and show you why it is that so many buyers and sellers find themselves at Realtor.com. Because the #1 search string every single month are those 2 words. And you might say to yourself, well, that's just ridiculous. Why would people put in real estate? You know, I don't know why they do, but 20.4 million of them do it every single month. So when they put in the word real estate into Google or Yahoo or Bing, the next question is, what comes up when they put those words in? So I'm going to go back out to Google. Let's type in the word real estate, and let's see what comes up. There are 817,000 places that you could go. You can see at the top. And the number one place that Google is telling you you should think about going to, and this is not a paid result, you can see this is what's called organic, which gets 90% of all the clicks, is that first organic result, is Realtor.com. Now, why is that? Did they pay to be there? No. The reason that Realtor.com is ranked the number one for real estate, and also the number one in many, many markets for the string homes for sale, which is the next largest search that people make when they're looking for a home, is because we have all of the listings from all over America that are fed through all the MLSs into Realtor.com, and they're updated every 15 minutes. That's a big deal, and Google looks at that and says, wow, there's lots of data and it's fresh. That's the number one place I want to send consumers. So now a consumer clicks on it and they find themselves at Realtor.com. Now, the reason I did that versus showing you a bunch of graphs that says Realtor.com is number one and a pretty little line that makes us bigger than Zillow and Yahoo and those kind of companies is because I think we get so bombarded with I'm number one and you should do this because it's the best. I'm trying to put this in a really easy way for you to tell yourself who's number one. So do a search. Look at that keyword tool. Do a search. See who's number one and whatever you're trying to target. If it's real estate and people looking for homes, there's no question Realtor.com is the number one out there, and it's supported by all those pretty graphs and everything else. So now that we know consumers are going here, a couple things I want to point out on the number one website for real estate. First of all is this button right here, Find Realtors. This is a new Realtor directory. It did not exist prior to the new site launching, which was just at the NAR convention about 3 weeks ago. So if you have not come out to Realtor.com and you have not clicked on the Find a Realtor tab, you need to do that. We would all agree that people look for homes first, but guess what? Lots of consumers are now searching for realtors. And if you've seen the news about all the controversy, there's even websites like Zillow that are starting to put realtor rankings out there so people can put rankings by their real estate agents, right? So consumers want information about us as professionals. So for example, if I want to find out all the agents in Dallas, Texas, there's 7,260 of them. But let's say I wanted to get a little more specific. I could hit search, and I'm looking at agents only, and it's going to reach into this database, and everybody's in here. We get this information from NAR and from your MLS, but let's say I want to refine my search, and I only want to find people that speak Dutch. Now, out of 7,260, there are 2 agents that speak Dutch that service Dallas, Texas. We've got Exit Realty, Paul Athos, and we've got Richard Shaj, it looks like, right? So what's the difference between these 2 agents? Well, the primary difference that I see right away is one agent has actually uploaded more information about them. They put their mobile phone number, they put their photo, and by the way, you can upload quite a bit of information absolutely for free. Your photo, a link over to your Facebook, your LinkedIn, all that stuff. So all you need to do is go out here. So if I'm Paul, and Paul, if you're on the line, I'm not trying to point you out. This is good for you to see, right? If I'm Paul, I'm going to go out here. So if you've not gone out here, find yourself. How do you do that? Search for realtors in your market and put in your first name, and you'll find yourself. If you're a secret agent, meaning you don't have a lot of information yet, go into your profile, like I'm going into Paul's, and see where it says, are you Paul? Log into the control panel and update your profile. It's free. So that's the part that you can say, this is my photo, here's all my other information, here's a link over to my Facebook page, so on and so forth. So do you think that there really is only 2 people that speak Dutch in all of Dallas that service real estate? Probably not, but there's only 2 people that have told us that they speak Dutch, right? So that's why it's important to make sure that you've filled out your profile with all the relevant information about what you specialize in, because consumers more and more are getting more and more discreet and specialized when they're looking for an agent. So for example, here's another example. I got all 7,260 here. Let's say I went through an open house and I met someone named Philip on Sunday. And I can't remember what company he works for, but I know his name was Philip. So I type in Philip, and anybody with the word Philip, whether it's their last name or their first name, is going to come up. So here's Herbie and Kathy Phillips, I scroll down through and say, nope, it wasn't any of those. Oh, Robin Phillips, Phillips Realty Group. No, it wasn't any of those. Philip Owens, that's who it was.